Welcome back. While the local government elections are just around the corner, on the 1st of October, political parties signed the electoral code of conduct for the 2021 municipal elections at Nasrec Expo Centre in Johannesburg. Lesser-known parties were selected through a random draw during the ceremony to appear first on the ballot paper. As political parties prepare themselves for the big election day, we ask the burning question of what exactly is at stake? We're joined by political analyst Mighti Jamie for an insight on this matter. Mighti, thank you so much for your time this evening. Talk to us a little bit about, first of all, what happened with the signing of that electoral code of conduct. What is quite noticeable is that political parties such as the EFF were a no-show. So just how significant and just how compulsory was the signing of the code? Mighti, I think we need
thank
to
you for having me.
There we go. We've got you. Yes.
So, I mean, the signing of the code generally marks the beginning of the race, so to speak. And it's very symbolic that it be done in public. And ostensibly, the EFF was not present on the day. But I do think that they have signed all of their necessary commitments that they need to sign. It's perhaps that they didn't want to add, their presence to the stage. It's unclear exactly why they didn't show up on the day. Be that as it may, the race has now officially started. We are now even under level 1, which makes it easier for political parties to be able to canvass for votes in municipalities and in all of the relevant wards.
Yeah. I mean, just how significant, and this has been an ongoing debate around what determines you placing that X on the ballot paper. Is it because you've read the manifesto and you align with the values and the ethos of the political party? Or is it just a popular campaigning that whoever it is that is most popular actually wins in this case? How significant is the signing of the manifesto actually when it comes to considering which political party gets voted for by the electorate?
Well, there are a variety of factors which influence electoral outcomes for political parties. Number one is the manifesto, but to a very limited extent in the South African landscape. If you look at the manifestos of the ANC, you had 28 pages, of the DA, you had 30-something pages, of the EFF, you had about 87. If you compare that with the German elections, you had manifestos running into hundreds of pages. So that shows that the manifesto as a document is not the central element of the elections. It's a prop more than it is a central keystone. I think there's a low belief in the electorate that parties are going to implement the manifesto as it's written. So let's put the manifesto aside, having addressed it. I think that one of the key factors is going to be the enthusiasm of volunteers in terms of how many volunteers can you get in municipalities to get to the door-to-door, gate-to-gate, phone-to-phone. Because elections are a numbers game, and at the point of campaigning, it's about how many people can you actually get into the communities to actually do the hard work of persuasion. It's going to be relatively easier here for the economic freedom fighters because they do seem to have a large number of young people in their cohorts. They do seem to have organized structures. It's going to be harder for the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, primarily for two reasons. Number one, they have incumbency. The Democratic Alliance has a track record in the Western Cape, and the ANC has a track record across the country. And as a result of that incumbency, in certain communities where they are the majority of voters, in the townships, they're going to face a hard time because people are going to say, but you haven't delivered. And this is why we've seen sometimes when the ANC has been campaigning, there have been counter-protests, there have been angry, gestures and semantics from people in the communities because they've been saying, hey, wait a minute, you guys have promised me RDP houses, electricity, waste removal, sewage repair, and none of those things have been done. So why should I give you another chance 27 years later? Similarly, in the Western Cape, in Khayelitsha, in Langa, in many other places, the Cape Flats, people are frustrated with the performance of the Democratic Alliance. So where the EFF has an advantage is that they don't have a municipality that they currently administer. So no one is going to be able to say, no, you didn't do this over there. And that gives them the benefit of freshness. It's one of the advantages of just being a young party. So enthusiasm is a factor. Incumbency is a factor. And then lastly, I think the success of the message in and of itself. So aside from the manifesto, which is a more blow-by-blow and ideological and pragmatic framework, you do have the message that a political party is delivering. EFF is saying land and jobs now, ANC saying build our municipalities back better, something to that effect, and the DA is saying they get things done. And I think when you then think about the connection, the emotional connection, and the moment in and of itself, where are young people, where are the energized voters, what message resonated? I think objectively, Julius Malema probably had the best message in terms of the manifesto launches. And as a result of that, he may get a boost, and the EFF may get a boost as a result of his having that message. It becomes difficult for the ANC
we're just running out of time. Unfortunately, it's not on side. But I just want us to be able to tackle the significance of the independent candidates. Do they have any form of spotlight? Are they going to see themselves experiencing their moment in the sun come these local government elections on the 1st of November?
To be very honest, it's going to be very difficult for them to experience some success. The reason is because people still don't believe in the model. And as much as we have politicians such as Mmusi Maimane and the One South Africa movement trying to push for municipal associations, trying to profile independent candidates, it's going to be a very tricky road because there are so many political parties. There are challenges with independence which come from brand recognition, which come from funding resources and being able to get volunteers. So maybe we'll see some interesting outcomes in places like Knysna, but it's unlikely that we will see a lot of independent candidates, winning the day when the 1st of November results are announced.
We're going to leave it there. Mighti Jamie, thank you so much for your time this evening, political analyst, just giving us the lay of the land, so it were, as we build up to the local government elections on the 1st of November.